These races could tip the balance. The Republicans hold a slim majority in the House of Representatives, but as we all know, that could all change come November. The political winds are shifting, and with a tight presidential race between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, control of the House is very much up for grabs. Every single one of the 435 House seats is on the line this year, and while some may seem like foregone conclusions, others are shaping up to be nail-biters. These races, my friends, will determine which party controls the legislative agenda for the next 2 years. It's about power, pure and simple, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Today, we're diving deep into 5 key House races that could very well decide the balance of power in Washington. These are the races that will keep you up at night, the ones that will have you glued to your screens as the results roll in. Our first stop takes us to the battleground of Long Island, New York, specifically the 4th Congressional District. This area, known for its picturesque suburban neighborhoods and vibrant communities, is now the epicenter of a fierce political contest. Now, this district, historically a Democratic stronghold, went for Joe Biden by a sizable margin in the last presidential election. The voters here have consistently leaned blue, making it a challenging terrain for any Republican candidate. But don't let that fool you, folks. This race is anything but predictable. The political landscape is shifting, and both parties are pulling out all the stops to secure a win. The Democratic candidate, Laura Gillen, a former prosecutor, is running on a platform focused on public safety and fiscal responsibility. Her campaign is built on her experience in law and order, promising to bring a tough stance on crime. She's pledged to increase law enforcement funding, tackle the opioid crisis head-on, and secure our borders. These issues are at the forefront of her campaign, aiming to address the concerns of many residents. Gillen's message seems to be resonating with voters concerned about rising crime rates and the economy. Many locals are worried about their safety and financial stability, and Gillen's promises are striking a chord. But Gillen's opponent, Republican Anthony D'Esposito, a former NYPD detective, isn't backing down. With his background in law enforcement, D'Esposito is positioning himself as the candidate who truly understands the needs of the community. He's hitting back hard, accusing Gillen of being soft on crime and out of touch with the needs of everyday Long Islanders. His campaign is focused on portraying Gillen as ineffective and disconnected from the real issues. D'Esposito's campaign is counting on voters to prioritize his experience in law enforcement and his commitment to lower taxes. He argues that his background makes him uniquely qualified to tackle the district's challenges. This race is a dead heat, folks, a real toss-up. Polls show both candidates neck and neck, with neither side having a clear advantage. The stakes are incredibly high and every vote will count. It's going to come down to the wire, and the outcome could have major implications for the battle for control of the House. The eyes of the nation are on this district, as it could very well tip the balance of power in Washington. Stay tuned, as this is one race you won't want to miss. Now let's shift our attention down south to North Carolina's 1st Congressional District, a district that has been at the center of a heated redistricting battle. The new district lines, drawn by a court-appointed expert, have made this race even more competitive, and folks, it was already a nail-biter. Democrat Don Davis, a former state senator and military veteran, is facing off against Republican Lori Buckhout, a businesswoman and political newcomer. Davis is campaigning on a platform of expanding access to health care, investing in education, and creating economic opportunities for working families. Buckhout, on the other hand, is running on a platform of fiscal conservatism, limited government, and parental rights in education. She's been critical of Davis's voting record in the state Senate, accusing him of being too liberal for the district. This race is a microcosm of the larger political divide in our country, and the outcome could hinge on which candidate can better connect with voters in this newly drawn district. Chapter 3. California's 27th. Can a Democrat flip a Trump district? Our next stop takes us to the Golden State, California's 27th Congressional District, a district that Donald Trump won by a comfortable margin just 2 years ago. This district, nestled in the suburbs of Los Angeles, has been a Republican stronghold for years, reflecting the conservative values of many of its residents. But with Trump now out of office and the political landscape shifting, Democrats are hoping to flip this seat and make inroads in traditionally Republican territory. The changing demographics and growing discontent with the current administration have given Democrats a glimmer of hope. Democratic challenger George Whitesides, a Navy veteran and clean energy executive, is taking on incumbent Republican Mike Garcia, a former Navy pilot. Whitesides brings a fresh perspective, emphasizing the need for new leadership to address the pressing issues of our time. Whitesides is running on a platform of combating climate change, expanding access to affordable health care, and creating good-paying jobs. He believes that investing in renewable energy will not only protect the environment, but also create thousands of new jobs in the district. Garcia, on the other hand, is campaigning on a platform of strengthening the economy, supporting our military, and securing the border. He argues that a strong economy and secure borders are essential for the safety and prosperity of the district's residents. He's also highlighting his record of bipartisanship in Congress, pointing to his work on issues such as veterans affairs and infrastructure. Garcia's supporters believe his experience and proven track record make him the best candidate to continue representing the district. This race is a test of whether Democrats can capitalize on Trump's absence from the ballot and appeal to voters in a district that has long been considered Republican territory. With both candidates presenting compelling arguments and strong platforms, the outcome of this election could signal a significant shift in the political landscape of California's 27th congressional district. As voters head to the polls, the nation watches closely to see if a Democrat can indeed flip a Trump district. Chapter 4, Washington's Third, a rematch with national implications. Now, let's head up to the Pacific Northwest, to Washington's 3rd congressional district, where we're seeing a rematch of one of the most closely watched House races from the last election cycle. Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, a small business owner, is once again challenging incumbent Republican Joe Kent. Gluesenkamp Perez is running on a platform of supporting working families, protecting access to affordable health care, and addressing the climate crisis. She's emphasizing her bipartisan record, highlighting her willingness to work with Republicans on issues such as infrastructure and prescription drug costs. Kent, on the other hand, is campaigning on a platform of reducing government spending, securing the border, and supporting America's energy independence. He's also highlighting his military service, emphasizing his commitment to veterans and national security. This race is a toss-up, folks, and the outcome could have major implications for the balance of power in the House. Chapter 5. Alaska's at-large ranked choice voting could decide it all. Finally, we travel to the last frontier, Alaska, where a unique electoral system could determine the outcome of the race for the state's sole House seat. Alaska, known for its vast wilderness and rugged beauty, is also home to a distinctive political landscape. Incumbent Democrat Mary Peltola, who made history last year as the first Alaska native elected to Congress, is facing a challenge from Republican Nick Begich III. Peltola's historic win was a significant milestone, reflecting the changing dynamics of Alaskan politics. Peltola is running on a platform of protecting Alaska's fisheries, addressing climate change, and ensuring the sustainability of the state's natural resources. Her focus on environmental issues resonates deeply with many Alaskans who depend on these resources for their livelihoods. Additionally, she is committed to improving access to healthcare in rural communities, where medical services are often scarce and hard to reach. This is a critical issue in a state as geographically vast and sparsely populated as Alaska. She's emphasizing her bipartisan approach, highlighting her willingness to work with both Democrats and Republicans. Peltola believes that collaboration across party lines is essential for addressing the unique challenges faced by Alaskans. Her ability to build bridges and foster cooperation is a key part of her campaign message, aiming to unite a diverse electorate. Begich, on the other hand, is campaigning on a platform of reducing government spending, developing Alaska's energy resources, and supporting gun rights. He's criticizing Peltola's record, arguing that she's too liberal for Alaska. Begich's focus on economic development and individual freedoms appeals to conservative voters. He contends that Peltola's policies are out of step with the values and needs of many Alaskans, positioning himself as a defender of traditional Alaskan principles. This race is unique because Alaska uses a ranked choice voting system, meaning voters rank candidates in order of preference. This system allows for a more nuanced expression of voter preferences and can lead to more representative outcomes. If no candidate receives a majority of first-place votes, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and their votes are redistributed to the remaining candidates based on voters' second choices. This process ensures that the winning candidate has broad support. The ranked choice voting system can lead to unexpected results, as it requires candidates to appeal to a wider range of voters to secure those crucial second and third choice votes. The candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and their votes are redistributed to the remaining candidates based on voters' second choices. This process continues until one candidate reaches a majority. This redistribution of votes can significantly alter the dynamics of the race, making it difficult to predict the final outcome based solely on initial vote counts. This process continues until one candidate reaches a majority. The ranked choice voting system adds an extra layer of complexity to the race, requiring candidates to strategize differently than in traditional elections. This system adds an extra layer of complexity to the race, and it could very well determine the outcome. Voters must be well informed about how ranked choice voting works to effectively participate in the election. As Alaskans head to the polls, the ranked choice voting system will play a crucial role in shaping the final results, potentially leading to surprising and historic outcomes. The future of the House hangs in the balance. So there you have it, folks. 5 key House races that could very well decide which party controls Congress. These races are microcosms of the larger political forces at play in our country: the battle for the suburbs, the impact of redistricting, the legacy of Donald Trump, and the rise of new voting systems. These races are too close to call, and the outcome will depend on which candidates can best connect with voters and get their message out. One thing is for sure: the stakes are high, and the results will have a profound impact on the future of our nation. Stay informed, folks, stay engaged, and most importantly, get out there and vote.